Hello everyone, my name is Saksham Dikshit and this is my channel Pentest Diaries. So this is the sixth video and I'm making the video this time for the Docker and the container security, and in this video itself we'll just try to cover the concept like if you want to create a red team lab, so how you can make it on a Docker itself. So that is the thing I just try to get it covered in this video. Hope you like this video itself, so I'll try my best to going further with that. And what are the things I'll try to get it covered in this video, I'll just guide you how to build that lab, and then further itself I will let you know what are the type of things which you have to take care of it. Like creating a lab is one of the thing, but make sure when you're making that such type of lab, like on your laptop it's okay, on your personal laptop you're making, that's your personal thing, like anything you can do it on your laptop. But if you're talking about when you're building it such type of lab for your enterprise environment, so whatever type of things which you should know about it before proceeding further, you should know these are the controls, these are the security stuffs, you just have to get it in place, you have to fulfill all those requirements for it. That is one of the things we just want to get it covered. So it's a practical section even with the theory part, but I'm not running any command in front of you itself. I'll provide you all the screenshots, even I'll provide it the commands also, you can run it. It's bit so easy, I don't want to replicate the same thing once again on your screen. I just wanted to run it the same things, it's bit easy. If it's a complicated, definitely I will run it for you. So that's one of the things. So going further with that, if I talk about the red teaming lab, so how exactly it will work. So we just try to read the whole content for it. What are the possibility coming, as per my understanding, what are the possibilities coming over there itself as a work like both the guys itself, even like a red teamer and even work like a blue teamer. So I know both the possibilities. I'm not covering the blue teaming section over here itself, but little bit flavor you're getting in this video. So that is one of the things. So if we're talking about building a red teaming lab using a Docker and the containers can provide a flexible and the scalable environment for conducting security assessment and simulations. That's most important. When we are talking about when we are making a red teaming lab, so if you are making it from the scratch, putting either a desktop or putting a servers over there itself, it's a bit complicated. So Docker is one of the flexible point, and it can be scalable as per your need. You can make n number of Dockers and n number of containers images over there itself, run it as per your need whenever you require it for multiple target, or for a single target you want to generate a lot of traffic, you can do it very easily. So that is one of the things, that's a flexibility we are getting it with the Docker. Few organizations having such type of environment, few organizations having their own dedicated servers just to perform the red teaming activity. I have built the architecture also for in couple of organizations when I worked for it, and I worked for those organizations and have built it that whole architecture for them, and even Docker is one of the things which I utilize it over there itself. So that is one of the thing which I feel it's very much interesting and people should be know about it. Instead of having only thinking about it, we have to utilize the tools, get it done with that. That's one of the thing. Okay, going further with that, how we identify the host and everything about it, going further with that. So if we're talking about the first point, that is the choose Docker host. That is one of the thing which we have to get it. Building a Docker on a host itself, that's one of the thing we just have to get it identified first. So taking example, any server you required it on which you have to build that from the scratch. So this is one of the thing, one of the server, the EC2 instance, or it's a blade server itself which you have to utilize it, where you have to build the Docker. So host to be get it identify over there itself, appropriate CPUs, appropriate RAM should be in place, appropriate disk to be there itself, where we are trying to get install our Docker package over there. Then the second point, if we're talking about the installing a Docker, that's straightforward, which we have discussed in our previous video also, how to get install the Docker. The commands I've already provided over itself that you can follow it. Going further with that, now this is most important. Now you have to identify which image you have to get it pulled out and put it on your host itself, so that you can run and perform the red teaming activity itself. To conduct a such type of activity, you require an appropriate type of image to be in place. I'm using a sniper is one of the image from the internet itself, but through the Docker Hub you can identify multiple images, and by that way itself you can run it as per your need. I'm utilizing it only as sniper. This is a renowned type of Docker itself, which everyone can use it. I have utilized this type of thing a lot on my laptop when I am performing the systems from my side, not as a Docker, but I have used it on my base machine itself as a package and utilize it a lot, perform a lot of enumeration, recon, getting a stuff about the target itself. That was the thing. I'm going further with this image. This is also a bigger image. At the time when you're pulling it, it will take almost a 10 to 15 minutes just to, it depends on your internet speed. Then on the way so that you can clone it completely and get it installed, and then you can utilize it. Now, once you're done with the pulling part itself of the image, which you talked about the sniper, then we have to create the network also. So network card, we have to create the network also for this. So over here itself, this is a command we have to use it. The Docker network we have to get. This is a syntax. Create, as we're creating it, then we have to define the name. As I'm using it this for the red teaming lab purpose, that was the reason I'm giving a name as a red team. Now going further with that, if I want to run it, so these are the two commands I just have to utilize just to run that. I simply have to use the name, okay, the repository name. I have to use the network name. Over here itself we are running it. That was the reason I'm using a Docker run. And now network name is red team, and then we have to define the name of like image ID. So image ID we are giving over here itself and run it. And now if we want to take a control of it, taking a shell of it, then definitely we have to run this command, and by that way you can able to get that with the image ID. Okay, this is the thing. You can see we are inside of the host. Now this is the practical portion, and now this is the practical portion is over. Now the theory portion is, which is also most important, like always be a attacker, work like a attacker, but for a control environment, that's most important. You should know these things. Otherwise, if you are making anything blindly and not aware about a lot of things, like not aware about the actual enterprise controls, their policies, then in that case it may create a problem for you, and at any point of time it may compromise your Docker, or you may lose a lot of data, and you might be a vulnerable point for actual attacker who is attacking your Docker and using your Docker as a medium and go inside of the enterprise environment. So that's one of the thing. So the first point coming under the category of that, what we have to take care of it is a customized container. So customized container is one of the thing, like whatever that scripts, whatever the new packages you wanted to be getting installed on your machine, you can do it very easily itself, and then you can make it a new image of it, which you can utilize as per it. But make sure whatever the scripts, whatever the packages you are installing, whatever the tools you are cloning it, make sure it should be, you have to download it from an appropriate environment. It should be from a recognized repository, so that you are aware about it, not from unwanted type of scripts you have to clone it on your machine, and by that way it may get exploit your own machine. So that is one of the thing. Make sure that when you are customizing, you can customize as per your need, but make sure the appropriate script should be in place, not any unwanted scripts. Going further with that, connect the containers. So now what exactly is it, like as we are performing a red teaming activity, now it's not like we have to go for directly attacking the target. So definitely we require a simulation environment. So that simulation environment we like to integrate with our Docker. Our Docker is working like a attacker machine, like similar like that our laptop, but now we want some simulation also. So C2 server we required over there itself, so that utilizing that to be get it integrated with the Docker, and we can get a similar type of feeling like a simulation environment where we can customize the stuffs as per the need, and then we try to attack like a real attacker over there itself, so that at the time when we are actually going for the target, we are aware about a lot of things about it. We'll try all the possibilities in a Docker using a simulation environment, which we can get it integrate in this section for it. Now going further with that, configure a host firewall. So configure a host firewall is also one of the thing, like defining inbound and outbound traffic should be in a control environment. When you are making any Docker inside of your enterprise environment, then definitely make sure you have to define appropriate ACLs in place. like inbound and outbound traffic should be appropriately in place, so that at any point of time, like if you don't require like anything like inbound traffic from the internet itself to get it access your Docker, then definitely why you have to allow it, just block it completely. So that was a proper control you should have to be getting implemented from your side, so that at any point of time anyone trying to get it approach your Docker, you have appropriate controls in place. And even the external firewalls, IPs, these are the components can help you out, but there is a possibility if you are making your Docker as unwanted, like you are making your Docker is bit vulnerable to internet and get exposed to the internet, then definitely you are on a risk, and you make your environment, enterprise environment, on a risk. Okay, that is one of the things which you have to take care of it. Implement the security measures. That's one of the thing, like you have to be place a proper controls, proper accessibility, applying appropriate stuff over there itself, appropriate profilings, whosoever the person is having accessibility is segregated from a host itself appropriately, so that at any point in time if your Docker is get compromised, it will not impact the host, like which is running with a multiple containers over there itself. That is implementation of the security measures should be appropriately in place. It totally be depend on the controls, whatever the controls you have in your organization, on the basis of that you have to follow it when you're making any Docker in your organization. Going further with that, test lab environment. So validate the functionality of the red teaming lab by conducting a test in the simulation, ensuring all components interact as expected. So when you're building a red team lab on a Docker itself, make sure whatever the things you are installing it, whatever the things you're trying to get integrate, it should be as per your need. It's nothing like that n number of scripts you're trying to get it imported on a machine, but you don't require it. Don't try to do that. As per your objective, trying to go ahead further in such those scripts only which you really require it, not all the things. There's nothing like this. You have to put the garbage on your Docker and then you're not using it anymore. It may, like any unwanted script which you're downloading, it may impact your Docker also. So that was the reason. It should be appropriate. You should know the objective, what you're looking for it. On the basis of that, go ahead further with that. And the other one is a document and the maintain. So when you are building the lab, like I'll give it an example from my side. With the example you can able to correlate, like in one of my organizations, they don't have the lab, they don't have a testing lab itself, so they just told me like can we create architecture for it so that we can go ahead further, approach that to the network team, and then we can build such type of environment. Then definitely I have created the whole architecture for it, and with that architecture we have approached them and just tell them what actually a requirement. On the basis of that, they will suggest like these are the things it's feasible from our side, or which is not feasible, what are the best possibilities we can do. Like when we are discussing about from the security point of view and from the network point of view, from the blue teamer point of view, everyone having different type of view. So definitely you have to put, should be like your view should be in a documented format, so that when you're presenting the person, that person can visualize this very easily. So the motive over here itself, when you are building a lab, then at the time make sure everything is small stuff which you are building it, any configuration video which you are trying to get it modify, any rules you are defining it over there itself, it should be get it documented, so that at any point of time when you're leaving the organization, the another person who is taking care the same environment later phase itself, that person can able to handle it very easily, instead of like that person will struggle a lot asking so many other person about it. In couple of cases, the people are facing a lot of issue itself, and it will take a lot of time for that guy to understand the whole environment. So if you document it well, then in that case it's a bit easy for a new guy to understand the stuff. So this is the rule, this is the thumb rule when you are working in a security profession environment, and definitely all the time when you are making anything from the scratch or you are modifying anything, make sure it should be documented, and that documentation modification should having a proper version over there. Like example, if you have did any modification this month itself, so whenever the new version will be released, it should be getting reflected in the new version with the proper changes. That's coming under the category of the document and the maintain section for it. So now going further with that, additional consideration. So what exactly the addition consideration, and I'm just covering two topics over here. It's a vulnerable application and the security tools. Talking about the vulnerable application, when you are learning at the time, the vulnerable images are available on internet itself. You can try to get it clone on your machine and then try to get it approach, so that you can try to get test all the possibilities from your side. Even you are aware about like how to get it approach the Docker images at the time at the performing a testing for it. So these things you can do it, and number of vulnerable images are available on internet itself, or if you wanted to be get it customized, you can do it. If you're if you're capable enough to do that, you can do it and then try to get it approved as an attacker. How can I compromise such type of Docker image? That's coming under the category of the vulnerable application. That's a consideration point. Now security tool. So all the things till yet I have talking about as a security point of view, or just to make enhancing the security itself. But if I talk about like as a defender point of view, what are the things we can do it? I'm just giving a small idea over it, so not the whole stuff of the blue team, but small idea related to that. We can try to build the honeypot. We can go ahead for the with the making a detective like type of stuffs, a mechanism over there itself, so that if any attack, any such type of attack is conducted on our target itself, on our servers, on our Docker, at the time it's bit easy for us to get it, identify it, that source point, everything we can get it identify using this mechanism over itself. So real-time environment itself, monitoring should be there itself, and a detection mechanism should be there in place. So that's coming under the category of security tools. Appropriate tools we have to use it just to overcome this problem. That I'm just covering a 2 lines over here itself, and that to be get it covered in my next video, where I'm just explaining you about the whole stuff related to the blue teaming when you're talking about the Docker itself. But over here itself, if we are working as a red teamer, our responsibility, we can have to make such type of mechanism also. Like at any point of time, if anyone is trying to get it approached, can try to compromise our Dockers at any point of time. As a security professional, we can able to identify, can detect potential such type of attacks very easily, instead of we have to totally rely on blue teamers. Blue teamers having a lot of load, and we can't rely on them like they can track each and everything about it. So we should have to make a mechanism in such a way where if at any point of time our Dockers will be in a vulnerable or it's in a threat situation, that at the time we can able to identify very easily and take action accordingly. And we can suggest to the blue teamers like these are the possibilities, and in case of Dockers you can try to modify the stuff, or you can put it such type of security level so that at least our Dockers in appropriate security zones. Going further with that, these are the resources, and this is one of the OVF file which you can get it downloaded. It's freely available. Even it's a GitHub file is available over there itself, a repository, and which you can include it on your machine. You can run it directly, install.sh file inside of that, and by that you can put all the tools, whatever the dependency over there itself, you can get it installed very easily. It's hardly take I think 15-20 minutes, 25 minutes as per the internet speed, and by that way you can configure everything on your system. This is purely be a red team operation type of tool. I can say that it's a type of package having a lot of tools inside of it. You can utilize as per your need. Going further with that, this is one of the things which is a remembrance point. I can say that 3 things. First is the ethical hacking. So when you are making a lab, and like in enterprise section for it, and when you're trying to approach a target, make sure you having authority for it. Don't like doing anything for which you're not having authority. Don't try to attempt such type of thing if you're not having authority for it. Like example, if you learn something from internet, or you're aware about some new tricks, cool tricks type of thing, then don't go in your environment try such type of tricks. Like it's not so good, and I'm saying that this should be restricted. The person should not be allowed to. This is for the information purpose I'm making the videos, but I'm not provoking anyone just to conduct such type of attack in your actual enterprise environment if you're not authorized guy. If you're an authorized guy, definitely you're aware about it, and with the SOPs, with the appropriate controls in place, you have to go for that red teaming activity. Red teaming activity is nothing like that we have to destroy our servers. No. Our ultimate motive is just to get it identify the loopholes which intruders or attackers can get it identified from the internet. We just try to get it identified before them. Going further with the security measures. When we are making any Docker over there itself, the measures, security measures should be appropriate in controls, should be appropriate, will be fulfilled, a compliance should be there itself for a Docker, so that we are secured we are making our environment secured, and even our Docker is also secured. So security measures should be in appropriate in control and continuous learning. Like whenever you are learning something new, and if you are working in the same environment, it should be always you are learning something new itself. Try to get it, utilize that, so that you're not utilizing outdated technology, outdated commands, outdated tools. Try to utilize a new tools which you are aware about it. Learning, when you're learning every day, definitely you are came to know about the new tools which is everywhere in the market itself, and the professionals are using it. You can try to get it utilized as per your need. That is coming under the category of the continuous learning. When you are learning it every day, definitely you are getting the details about it. Even at the time preparing this video itself, I'm trying to learn a lot of things, trying see a lot of possibilities, providing the screenshots for that. I have to make the simulation environment on my system. So that was a learning. Like when I'm doing this stuff, then only I just came to know, okay, this is also one of the possibilities, also one of the possibility. N number of repositories, N number of Docker Hub images I can say that I have seen at the time of demonstrating the stuffs about it. Try to get it, clone it, try to pull it on my machine. So these are the things I'll try. Have tried all the possibility on my case. So this is all about this stuff, and before closing the video, I will tell you like these are the things you can do it on a Raspberry Pi. If you wanted your portable device be always with you itself, and you have one screen with you, you can plug it and can utilize it any place, you can do it. So Raspberry Pi is the best way. Even in my case itself, I have deployed everything on my Raspberry Pi. If I'm getting the portion, definitely I will just showcase you how exactly. So these are the things which I just want to get it covered over here itself, and I wanted like you just have to try learning these things and going further with it. This is just a difference point, but make sure if you start working with this section itself, try thinking about what are the other possibility you can try to figure out from your side as a red teamer. And on a Docker, what are the things like, taking example, these one image I have just let you know about it, but there are a number of images on Docker Hub which you can clone it on your machine, and you can make that working on the dashboard, giving you a dashboard type of thing on a browser. Then you can run it. Like if you wanted such type of things, try to figuring out such type of images from Docker Hub, try to run it, clone it on your machine itself, on your personal laptop, not on an enterprise environment. In case of enterprise environment, they definitely have a paid tools itself, JFrog, or they are using Aquasec. As per your need itself, you can try to run it as per their requirement. You can run, but just for your learning, you can do such type of thing. So I hope I try my best to make you understand about how we can set up the red teaming lab on a Docker. And if you like this video, please subscribe my channel. Thank you so much once again. Take care. Bye bye.